Welcome back, manga fans. I have for y'all today what I think most people would consider to be a pretty big manga haul. I have over 130 volumes of manga that came in over this past week. Some of that is just new releases, some of it is old shonen manga. I even got a box set. I think I have something for everybody. So if any of that sounds interesting, and I hope that it does, please enjoy the video all the way to the end. It'll certainly help me out if you do. Alright, the first thing that I'm going to show y'all to kind of whet your appetite, get you ready for this video, is the Promised Neverland Box Set. This is a box set that I've really had my eye on for a while, but I just never got around to it because I didn't feel like it was going to be going anywhere. And I will kind of just go through these volumes and show them real quick as I'm talking about it. But this was a series I really enjoyed. I read it from when it probably only had about 20 chapters out. I'm always really hesitant to start new ongoing series, but when this was first being published, it had a whole lot of hype behind it. And when I started it, I understood where they were coming from. The first arc of the series, where they're still at the orphanage, was really, really good. And I felt like the series as a whole was really, really good. But I did feel like every arc was a little worse than the one that came before it. And I'm not going to spoil the ending or anything, but I felt like the ending was kind of a cop-out of the themes that had been talked about the whole series. And now I felt like the premise was something really special, and I was really excited to see how it played out and how the mysteries unfolded. But I mean, I'll be honest, after the first arc, when it turned into honestly a lot more fight heavy and a lot less mystery, I really lost a lot of interest. So if I was just rating the first couple arcs of the series, I'd say Through Goldie Pond was very good, and then after that it just kind of fell off for me. I did finish it. It just didn't exactly go the direction that I kind of wanted it to, but that's okay. I'm not the author, and I probably couldn't have done any better. I'm going to switch it up and get into the anime series that I got. So I picked up 3 new anime this week, the first of which is my teen romantic comedy SNAFU, the complete 3-season collection. So whole show is here. I watched this show quite a while ago, and I'll be honest, I don't remember that much about it. I just remember the main character, Hachiman, was kind of one of those cold, standoffish, lonerish type people, and there was kind of a love triangle. And so I know the light novels for this series, which I have downstairs, are some of the highest rated light novels on my anime list. I will read them at some point, but if Yen Press would put out some audiobooks for those, that would be great, so that I can listen to them as I'm driving around, like I have with some of the other stuff. Next up, we got the Bubblegum Crosses Perfect Edition, or Perfect Collection. I already had Bubblegum Crosses, the Blu-ray that they put out before this, but they announced that they were coming out with this one, and they had a deal where you can trade it in, basically, or if you already had the old one, they'd give you a code for 50% off this one, and so I did that. Sadly though, I'd already opened this, but it got a little torn right here, this little booklet that came with it. It's not the biggest deal to me. It's just, this little booklet's just kind of an interview. I haven't really read through it, but Bubblegum Crosses has some of the best music in any anime series that I know of, to be honest. I have downloaded several of the songs from here onto my phone. The Mad Machine song just gets stuck in my head quite a lot, actually. I'll just be sitting there and then start humming it. It also came, if you ordered from I don't know how to say it, animago.com, the website of the publisher. Animago, can you see that, maybe? You got a limited edition little slipcover thing, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I know it's up for it's up to order on other websites, but if this is something that you're interested in, get it from the publisher directly, because I think they still have the slipcovers available. the last anime that I got was One Piece Collection 36. So we're kind of getting up there in these. I'm running out of space for One Piece anime, but it's fine because it's one of my favorites. And I will say, I do wish they had gone back and done Blu-rays of the first, I don't remember how many collections there were that were just DVD only, but if they wanted to go back and release Blu-rays of them, that would be cool. But at the least, I am glad that they stuck with keeping these Blu-ray DVD combo packs. That way, it is fairly consistent, even if all these new collection boxes are twice as thick as the old ones. Next up, I have a few Dawn-mei releases, and I do plan to probably turn around and sell these at some point because I've decided the only Dawn-mei series that I really like are the ones by Mojang Tongshin. I don't speak Chinese. I don't know. MXTX, Heaven Official's Blessing, Modao Zushi, them. The only other one I may not sell is the Husky and the White Cat Shizune because I have heard really, really good things about that. But for example, Case File Compendium, I don't even know why I bought this, to be honest. Actually, I do know the reason that I bought this. It was because I had all of the Dawn-mei releases so far from 7 Seas. So, you know, because I'm a hoarder and I had the collection up to date basically. I was like, I'll just keep buying all the Dawn-mei stuff they put out. Same reason as to why I got this one. You've Got Mail, Perils of Pigeon Post. I don't know. I regret buying some of these because these, like this one, doesn't even sound interesting. It's whatever. And then I might keep this one too, actually, Remnant of Filth, because I think it's in the same universe as the, yeah, it's from the same author as the Husky and the White Cat Shizune, and I think it's in the same universe as well. So I'll keep this one, maybe, but I don't expect these to stay in my collection for too long. On to my new manga releases. From Kodansha, we have Grand Blue Dreaming, Volume 21. So, Grand Blue is actually one of my favorite manga series ever. It's the funniest manga that I've read outside of like Gintama. And honestly, I think the manga for this is funnier than the manga for Gintama. But the Gintama anime is just so funny. But yeah, I look forward to reading this because I used to read it on Crunchyroll's old like manga app that was absolutely terrible. And then I think Kodansha took all their series off of it. So then I was just going to wait for new volumes to come out. But for whatever reason, they took like a solid like 2 years to put out the next volume. I can't remember if that was this volume or 20. I think it was volume 20. They took forever. So I'm glad I have something to read. I also picked up from 7 Seas the new Pet Shop of Horrors volume. So it's been I've been flirting with the idea of selling my Tokyo Pop Pet Shop of Horrors manga. Because I like it. I like that they're singles. But they are kind of old and I can sell them for a lot of money. And so I was waiting to see how this volume was before I decided if I was selling them or not. And I think this is really a really nice volume. Like you can't really tell probably, but the Pet Shop of Horrors like words are raised up, and it just feels really high quality. If it had those like little French flap things right here, I'd think this is the best thing since sliced bread. But yeah, I think there's gonna be 7 or 8 of these, and a friend on Twitter told me that the Tokyo Pet Shop of Horrors also in Japan got this release. And so I'm hoping that 7 Seas releases Tokyo Pet Shop of Horrors too, since Tokyo Pop didn't finish that whole release. If that happens, I can sell the 8 volumes of that I have, and I can pick up the new ones. I also got volume 8 of 7th Garden. So this and the Promised Neverland stuff is kind of going towards me trying to get all the Viz Shonen Jump manga. I know nothing about 7th Garden, really, and I still can't start it yet because I have every volume now except for the first volume. But it's on hiatus anyways, I think, so there's no reason for me to read it anytime soon anyways. Continued in volume 9? Yeah, sure it is. got volume 12 of Frieren. I don't know if it's still on like indefinite hiatus. I know that happens to it a lot, but I'm just gonna wait for season 2 of this because season 1 was like really good, as I'm sure you all know. And then I'm about to go on a rant here about Crunchyroll. So Sakura Saku volume 6, I got this. It's a shoujo beat volume, as you can see. I'm about to slander Crunchyroll all over the place right here. I have one order that I pre-ordered months ago in like September, and they haven't shipped me any of the items, and they're mostly shoujo beat stuff. Like last quarter, volume 2, I've seen so many people pick it up and post it on Twitter, post it on YouTube, but like I'm still sitting here not getting it. I email them and they say, oh, these are all on back order. They're not. I checked. Every single one of them's in stock. So I sent an aggressive email back, and they're like, yeah, we just checked. They are in stock. We just haven't charged your card. And I'm like, then send it. Like, they came out like 2 months ago. But I don't know. That never would have happened with the right stuff. I also got this Gundam Cucuruz Island. I don't know why there's all of a sudden putting out so much stuff to do with that little arc from Gundam, because I think that was unless I'm misremembering, I think that's like the episode that I'm not canceled, but you know, when they re-release the series, they don't include that episode. I think that's the episode that they didn't include. Like they didn't like it or weren't. I'm not sure what the deal is, but since then, you know, they made that movie of it. Now they're releasing the manga, so I guess they're okay with that little story arc now. I'm not sure. I don't even know what the issue was to begin with, but I think there's 5 of these, so 2 more left. And then I got 2 more, sorry. Next to last new manga release that I got was volume 3 of Soul Eater Not. So this is completed now, and I'll be reading it soon, because I read the original Soul Eater as it was coming out, and I started Soul Eater Not, but I think it was being published when I was reading it, and I just quit. So I'll have to come back and finish that. And the last new release that I got, and I'm sure most of y'all got this as well, was book 6 in the Vinland Saga Deluxe editions. I'm going to keep it in the wrapping. I've already read it, so I don't want to open it for no reason really. But yeah, I do think these editions are better than the hardcover ones that I used to have, just because they're bigger. But I did like the hardcover ones. It's just I couldn't justify having the hardcovers and having these, so I sold all of them. Moving on to the next to last series, and I'm not going to show every volume of this because it is very long and it will take forever, but that is the long-running shonen series, Rin-ne. I picked up all 40 volumes of this series. That was 1 through 7. We got 8 through 15 here. We got 16 through 27. Man, this is all over the place. But not as many people have read this series by Rumiko Takahashi, and I've seen it selling for quite a bit. I'm not sure that it's out of print yet, but at least in its entirety. But I do know some of the volumes are kind of hard to find. And I also know that when they shipped me these, I got these for a really good deal. They sent me volumes 1 and 2 as library copies, which was not in the description. So I actually had to reorder volumes 1 and 2 off of Amazon because they were actually in stock there still. And so they sent me non-X library copies, which was great because not a fan of the X library copies. I know some people don't mind them. I kind of do. Anyways, if you've read this series, please let me know. I don't know if it's actually any good. My only experience with this is I know I had looked at buying the Sentai Filmworks anime Blu-rays at one point, but now I think one of them is really out of print, and so you can't get the whole series on Blu-ray unless you pay a whole bunch of money. And the last thing that I picked up this past week, which I find to be the most impressive, get ready for it, is all 56 of the Inuyasha single editions. So I previously had some of the Vizbigs of this, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing. I'm not going to show all of them because it'll take forever. But I used to have the Vizbigs of, I think, the first like 4 of them, and I sold them because I didn't like the Vizbigs. I like looking at the covers. I like seeing the covers. One thing to note about the Inuyasha single editions is that they start off being left to right, being read left to right, like that. However, when you get to where the logo switches from, it goes from just saying action to eventually saying, let me show these real quick, to eventually having that like Viz V logo. I don't know if this is where it started for everyone, but on my volume 26, that's where it goes to the V. Okay, still left to right. Then, almost there, here's 27 through 31. When you get down to volume 38, 38 is where it switches to the Shonen Sunday. And as you can see here, even though I'm turning these opposite directions, they actually switch to the right to left format when they get to the Shonen Sunday section, which is kind of interesting. I've never known that. I figured that with a series that had been running this long, they would just stick with the format that they started with, but they didn't. They switched. It's got to be jarring for somebody reading this all the way up through for 37 volumes, and then 38 they start from the wrong side. I'm not going to tell y'all how much this really cost, but I will let you know that if you were to break it down into like per volume, it was not a bad deal. And I also already had some of them, like I had a good chunk of like the first 21 volumes already. I'd picked them up at a used bookstore, and these that got sent to me, that the first like 20 volumes weren't in great condition. So I was actually really lucky that I had already bought them because I was able to switch them out. But everything after 21 was in great shape. Honestly, the only one that's like maybe not perfect is this one, just 56. It's got a little bit of like, I don't even know if you can see it on the camera, but the corners are just kind of mushed a tiny bit, but like nothing too bad. So this was definitely the most expensive purchase that I've made in quite a while. But if any of y'all have these, let me know. And that's all I got this week. That's all I got. I was like 130 volumes. But anyways, that's it. So I'll see y'all next week.